LSMs are evil and outdated. The change to SEMs must be embraced. It's a really big line, and here to quantify that line is Peter Langschmidt, research consultant to the Publisher Research Council. Peter, these are very big words. Take me through the justification for them.
Well, you know, Ari, LSMs were created in 1989. Which is almost 30 years ago.
That's when I was born.
Yeah, and they've hardly changed. And in those days, nobody had washing machines or TVs. You know, we were coming out of 50 years of apartheid. So they worked well in the beginning, and they were created as an a-racial measure by a guy called Eddie Schultze at Unilever. And they were brilliant for the first 10 years. You know, they showed the poor and the rich. But as living standards have increased over the decades, everybody's got TVs, everybody's got fridges now. All they're measuring is durables in a home.
We know that marketers love to put people in a box, which is perhaps why LSMs have been so successful, because it puts people in a box and says this is how you can connect with these people. But why are SEMs a better box to put people in if you are going to box people?
So we took a clean sheet of paper and we said to Neil Higgs, who's one of the top researchers in the country at TNS, we said, here's a clean sheet of paper, give us a segmentation that accurately represents the South African landscape. So, you know, there were no sacred cows. And so his segmentation actually represents what South Africa looks like. We've still got 40% of our people who are really, really poor, whereas LSM just shows a massive bell-shaped curve with most of the people in LSM 6. So it's not representing what's actually out there. You want your segmentation. That's what the marketers and the agencies want. They want to say how people live, where they are, what are their needs, and LSMs are completely misrepresenting that, so they're not real.
The stats speak for themselves, and the justification when you look at it makes sort of complete sense, but how do you go about reshaping how people approach it and start really integrating SEMs into how people are thinking?
With difficulty, to be honest. People are set in their ways. South Africans are averse to change. They've always had LSMs, as you say, since you've been born, and we are struggling to get people to change. We're saying you can carry on using LSMs, but you have to believe in Father Christmas, because they're both fairy tales. So yes, we are now doing workshops. We're going around the country. The BRC, who conduct the establishment survey with us, conduct workshops every Wednesday. We conduct workshops every 2 weeks. So we go into the industry and saying, look at this, we'll come and talk to you. But you can't carry on using this. It's just patently incorrect and wrong. So education, it's going to be a slog. We thought people would say, okay, we buy your argument, LSMs, but they're not. They're still in love with LSMs, and over 85% of ad spend in South Africa is planned on LSMs, not on products. So yes, it's a long, hard slog, but we know it's the right thing to do so that marketers and advertisers can plan their brands properly.
So let's throw in a bit of a scare tactic into it. If marketers don't embrace a new way of looking at people and a new way of measuring who their audience may or may not be, what trap will they undoubtedly fall into?
Well, the biggest thing about target marketing, and it's the central tenet of all marketing, is that you must aim your ads at the primary target market. So if you're using LSMs, you're going to skew it. And by the way, LSMs are racist, because the average age of whites is 15 years older than blacks, so they have longer time to collect those durables in their home. So you will skew your ad spend towards the older white market, whereas we all know the movers and shakers and what's driving the economy is the young black movers and shakers who are creating brands and changing the world. So you'll be aiming at the wrong people. You also won't get the top and the bottom end. You'll just your advertising will not be aimed at the right people, which is scandalous. You're spending millions at the wrong audience. So it's a waste. You're wasting your money.
Peter, let's wrap it with this. In one sentence, why we absolutely have to take SEMs very seriously, and then where we can just find out a little bit more information about them.
Okay, we have to take them seriously because our ad spend has to start reaching the people who buy our products. We are wasting our money if we're using LSMs. It's scandalous to do so. And second of all, you can go to the PRC .za.com, and you can download presentations, you can ask for presentations, and you can read up and you can compare LSMs to SEMs and see which is the better mousetrap for your ad spend.
Fantastic. That's Peter Langschmidt there, research consultant to the Publisher Research Council. Peter, thank you so much for coming in to scare us.